12 years ago, I sold everything that I own. Like, people don't understand what is going on. And it only happened about a year ago. People used to laugh at me. And then once social media got mature, they came to me and said, oh, how do I build up my social media presence? So that was my time to like laugh at them. I've done campaigns for F1. I started doing big stuff. But right now we're at a turning point. Demand patterns are shifting. Not one person here will lose their job because of AI. Using AI properly, you could be working half the hours. Forget about the industry, the world would become more productive overnight. The future in hospitality, it's not about chasing trends. So to answer your question in a very long way.
Today we have Scott Eddy with us, a global traveler, brand strategist, keynote speaker, and one of the most recognized voices in hospitality and tourism marketing. From his early career in investment banking to launching Southeast Asia's first major digital agency to now advising some of the world's leading hospitality brands, Scott has built a reputation for turning authentic storytelling into real return on investment. He has lived in 6 countries, worked with top hotels and destinations worldwide, and continues to shape how hospitality brands connect with audiences in a crowded, ever-changing digital landscape. Today, we'll dive into his insights on where the industry is headed amid economic shifts, the rise of AI, evolving guest expectations, and the challenges of building strong teams and culture in hospitality. So without further ado, Scott, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man. I don't know if I can live up to that introduction. Wow.
Well, I was going to ask you, did I do good? Because I know there's plenty more that I could say there. But, you know.
You could have just said, this is Scott.
Well, you know, I think you deserve the grand opening, you know, so I had to live up to it as well. So I want this to be a good experience for you as well. So, you know, I would say a good way to kind of break the ice, you know, and listen, I've kind of get snippets of your story, and it's incredibly fascinating, right? But you know, investment banking, right? And then building a digital agency in Asia and now shaping hospitality storytelling worldwide. If you look back into your life, what thread connects all these chapters, right? How does everything come together into Mr. Scott Eddy, you know?
So I'm going to give you an answer that you're not expecting. And the answer to that question is I was trained to be a police officer. So my dad's side of the family, they're all from Michigan. He was a Michigan state trooper. I was born in Michigan. We moved down to Fort Lauderdale when I was 3. He became a Fort Lauderdale cop. I spent my entire life in the police station and police cars, going on ride-alongs, watching interrogations, watching autopsies. I mean, my life was set up so that I was going to finish high school, join the police academy, become a cop, get married, have the 2.5 kids, the white picket fence, retire, and die. Like, that was it. So I had a date to join the police academy 6 months after I graduated high school. And 3 weeks before I graduated high school, my father was killed in the line of duty in a plane crash, and it turned my whole world upside down. Had no clue what I wanted to do, wasn't trained for anything, was a horrible student, was not going to college, and I was just lost. And a friend's friend was working in the investment banking world up in New York, and this is 1989. The markets are going through the roof. So that industry is exploding, and he said that the top 2 guys from this firm is moving down to South Florida. They're going to open up their own firm, and he can get me in the training program. So I was like, okay. You know, I didn't have any other choice, so I just went along with it, and I got accepted, and I was in the investment banking world for 10 years. The guy who sat next to me, his best friend, was an expat who worked in Bangkok. And every time he used to come back home, he's from down here, and every time he used to come back home, we used to hang out and get drinks and dinner and became really good friends. And he always used to tell me, you got to come visit me over there. And I said, bro, I work 90 hours a week. I can't take a 24-hour flight. Like it just, the math doesn't work out. Um, so they came out of the office one day, January of 99. It was a Friday. I'll never forget this day. And they said, we just sold the firm. If you show up on Monday, you're going to have a new owner. And a lot of people resigned, including myself. And that guy called me over the weekend and he said, you have no job. Come visit me. So I bought a 2-week ticket, left that Sunday. And after 4 days, I called my mother. I was like, I'm never coming back. Send over my stuff. And I ended up living in Bangkok for 11 years. So the first 4 or 5 years, I partied my butt off all over Asia and just made a lot of friends and really just continued my life that I had here, going to South Beach. And, you know, I really loved it. I loved being around, and a lot of people, they like Asia for different reasons. And yeah, I know the cheapness. Yeah, I know how beautiful it is. Yes, I know the food. But for me, it was just being around kind people all the time. It blew me away. Just it was just so abnormal to what I grew up in, and so I had to figure out a way to stay over there. So social media comes out. I was very very early on Twitter, like first 2,000 people. I just got active. I mean, there was no word for it. There was no word personal brand. There was no word influencer. There was none of these words existed. So people used to laugh at me because right before social media came out, that was the day of blogging. And I'm not a great writer, so I never got into that world. And the bloggers who were making money used to laugh at me for being on social media. And then once social media got mature, they came to me and said, "Oh, how do I build up my social media presence?" So that was my time to like laugh at them. But that's a whole
Yes.
different story. But so I grew very quickly on Twitter. But before that, I said, "How do I mirror the worlds that I know?" Okay, so all the friends that I made in Asia, their families were in the hotel business, and I learned how to sell anything to anyone from the investment banking world. And I knew how to deal with humans from growing up in a police family. So if you mirror all those things, let's open up a marketing agency that caters to hotels. It turned out to be the digital agency, and it turned out to be the first one in Asia. And we were the biggest
Oh,
for 5 years. So, I mean, we did the first wave of crazy hotels in Bali. We did the Western casinos enter in Macau. I mean, we were really at the forefront, and all my clients were hotels. So I just hired really smart people from really big agencies and just watched and learned. And for 5 years, then it turned into a job. Is all you're doing is putting out fires. I had 37 full-time employees. It just was not
yeah.
fun. Sold the agency. By that time, I was the first American expat in every Asian country to have 1 million followers on Twitter, which got me speaking gigs, which got me consulting gigs, which got me, and it was just a snowball effect. So I started traveling, and in total, I did Thailand for 11 years, Philippines for a year, Sri Lanka for a year, Spain for 4 years, Portugal for a year, and London for a year. But then when I came back to the US, that is when I really blew up because that's when social media got mature enough where big companies were applying huge budgets to social media. 2015, 2016. And then I was the TV host for the first travel series on Lifetime. Then I just started doing huge campaigns. I've done campaigns for F1. I was in the first round the world campaign for Star Alliance. I was a brand ambassador for Lexus for 2 years. I mean, I started doing big stuff. So outside of all that, 12 years ago, I sold everything that I own. So I still use South Florida as a base. It's just, even when I'm here, like I'm in a Marriott right now, like I'm in hotels in between all my trips. And like I told you, I leave on Friday to go down to Miami for a week, and I'm going to be down there staying at another hotel, speaking at a conference, and then I fly to Europe for a week or for a month. But yeah, so I still operate a digital agency ish, but the entrance is DM on social media. So everything that I do is exactly the same way that you and I met. We met on LinkedIn
Yes.
DM, and LinkedIn, people don't understand. I tell brands this every day. just like I get excited, so I jump around a lot. Um, People don't understand what's going on at LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn is no longer a job site. Yeah, you could get a job, but you can get a job on any site actually now because you could just, it's humans. Humans hire and humans are there, so you can do it. LinkedIn's turning more and more into Facebook and Instagram every day.
Yeah,
Like people don't
agreed.
understand what is going on. And it only happened about a year ago. For the past 8 months, LinkedIn has been my most active platform that I have. I'm posting anywhere from 3 to 6 times a day, even on a Sunday, and killing
Wow.
it.
Wow.
People don't understand. Like, I only have, I mean, I say only, but I've grown a lot. I have 40,000 on LinkedIn. I almost have a 500,000 on Instagram. And I'm not posting
Wow.
every day. I should be, but I'm not posting every day. It's
Because you get the
crazy.
most reactions right now from LinkedIn.
Well,
Yeah,
you
you
get
get
the
the
most,
most.
well, not only the most engagement, which yes, you're right, but I get the most growth. And the time you
Hmm.
grow on a platform is early. Even though
Right.
LinkedIn is 15, 20 years old and it's owned by like the king of all dinosaurs, Microsoft. So, I mean, they've been around forever, but it's actually a new platform. People don't understand that because they're not in
Right.
the trenches, because they're not learning every day, because they're not out there testing and trying every day.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's it. The end. Thanks for having
Well,
me. See you later.
I mean, you answered a few of the questions that I have just in that intro, so that's great. I would say, how can you say your perspective changed, or was shaped by living in so many countries, right? And I think you maybe touched up on this a little bit, but how did living in so many countries and then coming into the U.S. really kind of helped you showcase who Scott Eddy was, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, hospitality has always been about people. But right now
Hmm.
we're at a turning point. Guest expectations are as higher than they've
Through
ever
the
been.
roof.
Employee culture is very fragile.
Yes.
Technology like AI is changing the way everybody operates. The economy is crazy unpredictable. Demand patterns are shifting. And yet, one thing remains constant: people will always remember how you made them feel.
Hmm.
The future in hospitality, it's not about chasing trends. You know, it's about combining culture and strategy and the smart use of technology to create experiences that feel personal, human, but unforgettable. And that's where the real ROI lives. And that's why that seriously, that's where the next 12 to 24 months will separate brands that thrive from the ones that fade out. I how does living in 6 different countries for 17 years change that? Yeah, because I have a global perspective of what other countries are doing, what other brands are doing, how people in Spain hire differently from people in Jamaica. I
Right.
know. I know it takes, things 3 times as long to get done in Spain. I understand that culture. I lived there for 4 years. I get it. And I also understand the Caribbean mindset that nothing is a priority, you know? You know?
I come from that, so I know
Oh,
exactly
okay.
what you're
Where are you
saying.
from?
Yes, I was born in Puerto Rico,
Oh,
so
okay. So, yeah.
driving 30 minutes, it's like, oh my God, I'm
I'm
going on a
dying.
road trip.
I'm dying to get down there because they opened up the first W all inclusive in Punta Cana, I think, or in not in Puerto Rico, but Dominican Republic.
In
But I'm
Dominican
dying to get down
Republic,
there.
yes.
There's some beautiful new openings, both in DR and PR.
Yeah,
I'm dying
yeah.
to get
Four
down there.
Seasons is coming in shortly,
Yeah.
also. Yeah, yeah. Four
Oh my
Seasons is
God, I
coming in
saw the
shortly.
renderings. It's gonna be
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be gorgeous.
Yeah,
So
big rise in the Caribbean overall. I think obviously after COVID, I think a lot of money went into the Caribbean, especially also Puerto Rico with the tax haven situation, and yeah, it's impressive. I mean, I left Puerto Rico almost 20 years ago, so
Sure.
when I go back, obviously there was this devastation in between with the hurricanes, but right now it's going. It's growing very quick, and people are visiting Puerto Rico more than ever. I mean, which we had lost a little bit of that
So
impulse or
I did a post a few weeks ago talking about the music and travel effect, and when Bad Bunny did his residency, the economic impact was, I mean, it was stupid.
incredible.
Like
Yep.
there's no other word to describe it. Like it was so
Yep.
beyond incredible. What was it, like 300 million or 350 or
So,
250 or
somewhere I heard some figures like that, but that is insane for a month, right? And
but when I did that post, I was getting people that worked on properties at those hotels, and they were like,
right,
"You don't understand. Like it was even
right,
more than what you thought it was gonna. Like the newspapers didn't cover half of what it impacted. Like they
yes.
impacted everything. Like the tiny little bodegas and the little restaurants and the little bars, and it wasn't just the massive brands that were benefiting. Everybody. It did such good things. Like it made me so happy.
No, absolutely. It made me happy to have Bud Bunny. I was proud of Bud Bunny. I mean,
Yeah, of
what he
course.
did is he could have chosen anywhere to do a residence with his
Correct.
fame and
Correct.
stardom at this point,
Correct.
but he said no. I'm going to Puerto Rico. I'm doing it in Puerto Rico. And at the beginning, I'm like, I didn't understand it, but then when I started seeing how people were calling me a couple of weeks ago, oh, I'm going to Puerto Rico. I'm going to Puerto Rico. It's like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
wow.
Right. Yeah, no, it was
So,
great.
and this is kind of like the slowest of seasons in Puerto Rico
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
slow
You know
season.
that
Yeah, for sure.
this July,
Yeah,
August, it's the slowest,
yeah,
right? So yeah, it's amazing
yeah. It
that
was very, very smart. It was a very,
yeah,
very smart strategy.
yeah, yeah. So let me ask you about storytelling, and I know that's kind of like you stand so strong
Yeah.
in that perspective, right? Um, How do you see guest storytelling evolving in the next 5 years, right? And you say, it's a driver of return on investment. So, so how do you see storytelling shape up in the next 5 years? I mean, how important it is for people to really grasp this concept, right?
So I look at everything from so I work with destinations, cruise lines, and hotels primarily. But I look at everything from a hotel lens, and then it's very easily convertible into the other two and any other brand that I work at, because hotels have so many moving parts. So do cruise ships, but a cruise ship is nothing more than a floating hotel. So if you look at
Right.
the hotel infrastructure, how do I map the guest journey from discovery to post stay? Today, if I were to start a brand, okay, the journey begins when someone dreams of a trip. And how do they dream? They scroll, they talk to friends, they watch TV, they watch movies, they listen to music, whatever it is. They scroll social, they get inspired, they start researching. Then they compare. Then they look to book, then they book. After the stay, they share memories and reviews. You need to show up at each one of those stages.
Yes.
At inspiration, create aspirational content. Not the same garbage that every other hotel in the world creates. I want to know about the valet guy who's been there for 30 years. I want to know where he's from. I want to hear some of his stories. You know what I mean?
Yep.
At the research level, you need to highlight reviews and show social proof. Whether that's a family enjoying themselves, showing in a distance and hearing a kid laugh, because the sound is just as important as the visual. That's why ASMR videos do so well. And at the booking level, this is where a lot of people struggle. A lot of people struggle. You got to make it a smooth transition. Smooth. You know, I don't know if you saw my post yesterday talking about OTAs. Okay? Like booking.com and Priceline and things like that. Like, hotels are scared of them. Well, these guys are spending more than hotels brands will ever spend in their life to drive traffic there. Okay, you want to drive traffic there? You want to spend all your money? Fine. So hotels need to use that as a brand discovery tool. And if you go back and look at that post, what I say is once they book through OTA and you have it flagged in the system, once they get to your front desk, it should be your job to convert them to book direct from then moving forward.
Yes, correct.
So what is your process to converting that guest? Right now, they're treated like garbage. Oh, you booked with the OTA. No, you can't have an early check-in. No, you can't have a late checkout. No, I can't give you a complimentary breakfast. No, I can't give you... They're just getting told no. Why would they ever book direct? Why?
Yes.
You treat them like they're cesspool. Treat them like gold.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, okay. And then during the stay, you need to design memorable moments that are worth sharing. How do you do that? It all starts with the top. How does the leadership treat their employees? Do they
Thank you for touching up on that. I love
do,
this subject, by the way. Yeah.
do they pay them enough to live life? Like, we're both in South Florida right now, right? I'm in Fort Lauderdale, you're in Miami. We all know what's ridiculous down here, like rents. Do you know how far people have to live to work in these nice hotels in downtown Miami and on the beach?
Yeah.
Or they're living in some dump with 4 other people.
Yeah.
Pay your
That's
people.
what's happening. Yeah.
Pay your people.
Yep.
If you treat your employees good, and this comes from the top, it trickles down and they want to treat the guests better. But how can you treat an employee like they're 1 star and then they have to treat the guests like they're 5 star? The guest is no better than them. Why? Because they're spending $1,000 a night on a room? That's not even worth it, by the way, but that's a whole different subject. ADRs are just like stupid. It just does. It never made sense to me.
Yeah.
So, designing memorable moments worth sharing is not only Instagrammable places. It's the big things are easy. It's easy to, look at Faena has a beautiful pool and beautiful installations and the dinosaur and it's easy. Throw money at it. Make it beautiful. Right. Okay. You're good. But memorable moments also means humans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And afterward, how do you keep the connection alive? Do you do follow-ups? Do you post content relating to how guests felt after a stay? If you only show up at the booking, you're too late. You're too late. But all of this requires a strategy. And truth be told, most properties don't have a strategy. They have a social media person. I'm social media person. I'm Scott, right? I'm excited. You're hiring me for director of social media. Wow, this is going to be awesome. But yet my boss only considers what's important is something that brings in ROI overnight. So the society says to them, social media is important. You have to do social media. Okay. I hired a social media manager and they just want me to check the box. Do that post and then ghost. And then shut off Facebook for the day or shut off Instagram, shut off TikTok, shut off LinkedIn for the day. Now do real work. These people have 17 other job responsibilities.
Right.
Do you understand you're paying them 1 salary? Do you understand every time you come in their office and they're like, oh, hey, Mary just left, so you're going to be doing her job now as well. Okay, well, what's happened to my salary? What do you mean, what's happening? Like, it's a joke. The industry's a
Yeah.
joke. But the properties that do treat their employees like gold, they do take advantage of a strategy. They do take advantage and embrace the OTAs instead of like beating them down. Those are the ones that are going to win. So, to answer your question in a very long way, God knows what's going to happen in 5 years.
Yes.
Technology is moving too fast to predict that. One thing I can say, mobile phones, they're going to be obsolete in probably 5 to 10 years.
Wow.
What's going to be left? You see Meta doing Ray-Ban Meta,
Yes.
Oakley Meta.
Yep.
So I want you to look at something. Phone companies come out with a new model every day. Apple just had their Apple's 17 release yesterday. Great release, even though I'm a Samsung guy. They come out once a year, right? Ray-Ban Metas came out, 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year ago, something like that, whatever.
Yep.
Do you know in the first 6 months they had 3 models that they dropped? Now, understand that they can do little software updates. I mean, just like our phones can get software updates. But you can't software update a better camera, louder speakers, bigger batteries, more powerful lens. Like you can't, there's some things that are hardware.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect yet. It's still very
Right.
clunky. I had all 3 models and everyone got significantly better. Just ordered the Oakleys. They're sitting at my sister's house. I got to go pick them up tomorrow. So the future are glasses or something sitting on the side of your head and the screen is just going to be like something.
A projection or
Yeah,
something.
projection
Yeah.
and
It's a matter of time where the technology is just gonna
Correct.
adapt or catch up
And let me tell
into
you,
where having a phone is it's
Your
it's
phone-
a weight in your pocket.
your
Yeah.
your phone's going to be like a BlackBerry. People are going to look at mobile phones in 5 to 10 years like they look at the Motorola StarTAC or the brick phone back in the day or whatever, like old school Nextel. Like I had them all. Like I had them all. They were awesome. They're going to look at it like AOL.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to be obsolete. Do you know AOL just went out of business? They didn't go out of business, but they just closed their website. AOL.com is no longer an internet provider and all this stuff. Just now. My sister still has an AOL email account.
Right.
It's mind numbing. But yeah, I mean, so that's where technology is moving too fast. What I look at is 6 to 12 months.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And I agree. I mean, it's a snowball, right? And what it's funny, but you look just 3 months back, 6 months back to now, and the technology is mind blowing. It's incredible what AI is doing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you from a lens of let's say a marketer, right? And obviously through your perspective of storytelling, how does AI play a role there? Do you think that AI is just going to offer the technology, but you still are going to need that human touch to be able to, so that your message comes through correctly? Or is even the technology is going to be able to provide or bring out an emotion into some of these campaigns and things like that?
Here is what I think about AI. I think that if used correctly, the industry will get even more human.
Yes,
Because,
I believe so too.
all the mundane garbage that it should be doing, it should be doing.
Yes.
But so my friend does something very interesting. He has a company, I think he has maybe 20 or 30 employees. he came out when ChatGPT, really came out, and people were just getting nervous. And, because if you don't know, you get scared. You're scared of everything you don't know. This is why it's so important to constantly be learning. So he came out and said he met with the whole company in person, not an email, and he said, listen, not one person here will lose their job because of AI. Matter of fact, I'll go one step further. You have a budget per month to subscribe to any AI tool that you want within, reason, to make yourself more efficient. But what I do expect is I expect you to become more efficient.
Yes.
So I want your output to go up 300%. But understand, using AI properly, you could be working half the hours. And I will not cut your salary. If every company looked at it like that, forget about the industry, the world would become more productive overnight.
Yeah, I know. The adoption curve would just incredibly skyrocket. I agree.
Agreed. So I think that brands need to, to round out the point, I think that you shouldn't be afraid of AI. You should embrace it to become more human.
Yes.
What's going to happen, in my opinion, is, listen, AI has been out. AI was invented before I was born. Like, AI has been there forever. How do you think social media works? How do you think Netflix chooses things that they think you'll like? How do you think, come on, it's been there for decades. It's just now we're actually getting access to apps to use it in an everyday life. That's why people think it's a new thing. So,
right.
I think that you should use it like my friend does it, and I think that should be applied to every single hotel, cruise line, destination, restaurant, bar, everything in the world. Everything. What I don't think people are ready for, brands, I should say, I don't think they're ready for AI-driven search. This is going to mess up everybody.
Yes. Okay. So that's where the disruption can happen.
This is going to be
some people can capitalize there. Huge,
Huge.
right? Yes.
Because, listen, now you go to Google. So I'm in Minnesota, right? In January, like nightmare, 19 feet of snow outside. It's like below 30, like whatever, like just freezing. Google, best hotels on Miami Beach. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's just go. I don't care if I'm paying $2,000 a night. Let's just go. That's today. And then you get first page, second page, all results. Obviously the first few are promoted and whatnot.
Right.
But now, Siri, Alexa, Google Voice, all these different search engines, people are talking to their phone. People are talking to their devices, Alexa, Siri, all this stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, Alexa, so I want to go away this weekend. I'm not going to bring the kids. I'm leaving them with my aunt, with my sister. I want a nice place on the beach. I want a balcony. I want to see the sunrise from my bed when I wake up, and I want a place that hasn't had negative reviews in the past 3 weeks. I want complimentary breakfast. I don't want to park too far away. I want to spend this range. And you know what's going to come up? One property.
Yes.
So if you're not doing content where AI can scrape the right phrases, you're done. You're done. No pretty pool photo during the sunrise is going to replace that. You need to push out content more than ever. Really, really specific content. Because, listen, you're more of a tech guy than I am. I'm just good at social. I'm not good at the underlying factor. AI scrapes from 3 places. They do the voice on the video, right? They do the caption on the video, and 84% of people start watching their phones on mute. So if you're posting a video without captions, and then the written caption, 3 ways. I'm sure there's many more ways in the background that they scrape, but these are the 3 main areas that brands can focus on. So if you're not writing a certain type of way, saying things a certain type of way, you're dead.
Right.
You're dead.
So storytelling is the future of marketing, basically.
Listen, AI search will replace much of Google. And listen,
Yes, it will.
Google, listen, Sergey Brin and like these guys are not going to sit in their hands. Like they're
No, they're always working in the background, and I agreed. Yes,
people will ask AI for recommendations. That's a given. AI pulls content and reviews. So build a wide digital footprint. Your digital infrastructure needs to be bigger than ever. Blogs? You think blogs are out? No way.
Now Reddit has more power than ever. Yep.
YouTube long form and then chop it up into short form for other platforms. Guest stories, staff content, strong reviews. You know, the bigger your footprint, the more likely AI recommends you. Hello?
Yeah. No, great, incredible point. I think that's where change is going to happen, and the pivot is going to happen. People are going to really reanalyze. If wait a minute, I say, people are going to do it, but they need to wake up to understand how the world is going to operate from now on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Let's say. And maybe we'll touch on a little bit of labor, and through your journey across, different countries. Do you see the same challenges that we see here in the United States as far as, shortage of labor in hospitality particularly? Or is this more of a United States kind of problem, or not problem, but challenge right now, right?
There's not a shortage of labor. There is a lack of labor retention.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there that want a job.
Great point.
There's a lot of people out there that want jobs.
Yes.
A lot. But why would they come to work for you? They know what they're getting into. They have friends that work there. They hear things. People are very vocal these days. Everybody has a phone. Everybody talks about their issues much more than their problems, much more than the solutions. They talk about their problems. They see how hotels treat their employees. They see how cruise lines treat their employees. But if you also had better employee culture, they would also see that.
Yeah, correct.
So it's not that, what COVID did to the industry is it made people wake up. The hospitality industry was skating for so long, treating employees like garbage, paying people like garbage, and employees were like, this is so ridiculous, but this is my job. COVID came, it backed you in a corner, and you didn't have a choice. You were like, well, what am I going to do? I'm just home. Oh, well, I have my laptop, I have my phone, I have my, let's just see. People found out that there was another world. So why would people come back to hospitality? To be treated like garbage?
Yep. No, I mean, incredible sense. An enterprise is not better ruled by a single person, but by its culture. And I agree. I think if you don't have culture, you don't have hospitality. Or at least, everlasting hospitality. So,
here's one final thing before we get off that topic.
Right.
You have to find a way to make staff culture a marketing advantage. Guests feel staff culture.
Yes.
Happy staff create better experiences, which create better stories, which create lifelong guests. if you highlight staff pride, celebrate longevity, share behind the scenes, a brand with visible employee happiness is magnetic. It will attract the right employees.
Yes, correct.
Treating employees well is not
Well,
HR, it's marketing.
it's marketing.
And, and,
Yes,
and
yes.
above that, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think every single guest will feel it once you walk into those doors.
Yeah, of course.
That culture, you feel it. It's
Of
something
course.
immediate. Yeah, 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 yeah. I love that post. I saw a post that you said, and your best marketing is treating your employees well. And I was like, oh my God, that was brilliant. Yes.
I mean, the thing is the things that I say, it's not rocket science. Like, I am not a smart person. I was a C- student. I never went to one day of college. Please don't edit that part out. I am not smart. But I spend 2 to 3 hours every day learning on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my finger on the pulse of digital and social media and what's going on in hospitality, and I talk.
Yep.
I talk to brands every day. I talk to minimum 5 brands every single day of my life, and that's 7 days a week. Whether it's a casual conversation of a friend who works for a brand or an actual call with a brand. I just got off the phone with a group in Asia that owns 9 hotels.
Wow.
They don't even understand bad employee culture. They can't understand that. I can't have a conversation like that because they don't understand. Because everybody's nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Okay, we can go off that topic.
No. I think in my opinion, that's the most important topic.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the
course.
backbone of where
Do a
you
whole
operate.
episode on that.
It's exactly. Absolutely. Let's do that.
I'm
Let's
down.
do that.
I'm down.
But I think that's definitely the pillar of the success and long-term success of any institution, any hospitality institution.
Correct.
It's culture.
Correct.
100%. Advices, right, to hospitality leaders trying to future-proof their business. And I think we definitely touch on a lot of this right now. But what would you say to, the people that are atop? This is what you need to focus on in order to, strive in the next decade of hospitality.
Get out of your office and walk the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a one-on-one conversation with every one of your staff members. Do you know where they live? Do you know how big their family is? Do you know who they share an apartment with? Do you know how long their commute is? Do you know where they come from? Do you know how many languages they speak? If you don't answer yes to the majority of those questions, you do not know your team. Period.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, that's how humans interact with each other. So why should it be different from a boss to an employee? You're both human, I think. AI hasn't taken over that part yet. You don't have AI robots walking the floor to make sure everybody's working.
Hopefully we don't never see that. But
I mean,
yes, agreed.
It's
agreed.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you see, your market share go up because of sustainability features, and you see increased length of stays, and you see, the marketing just going through the roof and the ROI going even higher. You're gonna, once you learn about your staff, because there's no template answer to what you just asked. Because every property is different. Every leadership is different. Every group is different. Every industry is different. But it all starts with, how well do you know your team?
Yeah.
When you walk in, do you call them by name? Do you remember their name? If they weren't wearing a name tag, would you know their name? It's a good test. I spend hours in hotel lobbies every day. I just sit there and watch. I sat down. I was in the lobby this morning. I was doing a call that I didn't need to be on video, so I was just pacing around the lobby, just watching. Just I'm on the call, but I'm just still watching, still observing. I spend an abnormal amount of time in hotels, so I see everything, and more importantly, I hear everything.
Right.
You know, the GM's not always around. The manager's not always around. So employees confide in me. I hear what really goes on. And it's not good.
Right. Sad to hear, but at the same time, people that might be listening out there, this is an incredible opportunity to.
But isn't it
really
funny
build
that
from.
every question you ask goes back to that point?
Yeah, it's not even funny at all, because I know that the essence of hospitality, it needs to start from the place you're operating.
It's hilariously unfunny.
Yeah, yeah, it's hilariously
Just,
unfunny.
just two things. Treat your employees right and post more on social. Like, if you want to sum up this whole episode,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's it.
Now, you could do a
Yeah.
deep dive. How do I treat people right? Well, like how were you raised? You don't know how to treat another human correctly? With manners, with kindness?
Right.
Give first, ask later? No, they ask. Give a little bit. Ask. It's ridiculous.
Agreed. Well, Scott, listen, I know we had 30 minutes and I took way more
Oh,
than
we're good.
that.
We're good.
But, I would love to maybe in the future be able to, exchange again
Yeah,
ideas.
let's do it. I'm down.
This has been incredibly insightful. I just want to make sure that, we have an opportunity for anybody who wants to follow you, reach you. Where can they make that connection with you? Where can they tap in and perhaps know a little bit more about how do you see the hospitality world?
I'm active on every platform. I'm at Mr. Scott Eddy, Eddy, on every platform.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and this has been an amazing experience. So
Appreciate
thank
it,
you
bro.
again for joining, Scott. All
I
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.